What's up guys, Bryce and Michael RC here, and I've got another cosplay for you guys today. 3D printed. And this has to be one of my favorite of all time, one of my favorite characters of all time, and it went super smooth. The entire thing went really smooth, but it's not finished. What we're going to do with this next one is in the future, I'm going to get some silicone mold, some 2-part silicone mold, and when it comes in, because we can't get it here, I actually debated on doing the whole caulking thing, but it doesn't seem like it makes that great of a mold. So as soon as the silicone molding comes in, or the silicone stuff comes in to make a mold, then I'm going to be taking this and making an actual silicone copy of it, because I didn't make a way for it to fit my head currently right now. It fits my head perfectly, but the neck piece kind of comes under, so you can't fit it over your head anymore once I enclosed it all completely. And that was because I didn't want seams whenever I make the mold, so I went ahead and put the entire helmet together so I didn't have any seams or anything, and tried to get it as smooth and perfect as I could. That way I could take it and make a mold of it later, and it's one big piece. And then because it's silicone, I'll be able to stretch it over my head, and it would fit onto my head perfectly. So without any further ado, this is Batman The Dark Knight. So I've already uploaded the process video to this, so you guys may have already seen it. But there's only one picture at the very end of the finished product, so I'm going to give you guys a complete all-around view of this. I tried to get this as smooth as possible and as seamless as possible. Whenever I printed this in Sulutech PLA, my printer, I don't remember what happened to it. I think the supports fell while I was printing 2 pieces at one time, and I ended up going in there with some tape, because sometimes you can save it. You can take, if you catch it soon enough, you can take the support that's on there and you can put tape around it and kind of put it back up on. And then, oh, I remember what happened. I have a video, and I'll put a link in the description to it, and I'll show you guys right here, about changing the filament on the Anycubic i3 Mega while the Anycubic's running. I like doing that. It changes the color, and if you push pause, you can push pause and change it out. But if you push pause, it puts this little like stitching across the print of a weak spot. You can really break it in that area real easy. So I don't like to do that. Whenever you switch the coloring out or the filament and stuff right in mid-print, it just flawlessly keeps on going. So I like doing that, and I like making it multiple colors. And I don't know if you'll be able to see on the inside here. No, you won't. It's too black. Oh, I painted it black. I forgot I painted it black on the inside. But right here, it goes, I ran out of the clear, and I wanted to use up the rest of my green before continuing on to the blue. And when I was switching it out, the last one was kind of cut weird. You have to cut them straight across, and I explained it in the video. You have to cut them straight across, and then the next one. So whenever you're pushing it up, you have to push the existing filament with the other filament, and if you have a slightly slanted cut, then it'll keep just slipping to the side. It won't push it straight up. And the one up top didn't have. I thought it was a straight cut, looked like a straight cut, but it wasn't, and it kept pushing aside. And so I was trying to figure out while it was running. Well, this thing printed really fast. The pieces aren't that thick. It was printing super fast, and so when I switched it out, I was fiddling with it for a second, and it only took a few seconds to fiddle with it. But I looked up, and the printer had gone about. There was a space between the last filament and the new filament that was coming in, because the other filament wasn't able to be pushed up, so it wasn't going out the extruder. So there was a space. When I finally got it to go through, it was like letting down just enough to touch it, but whenever I took it off the print, it obviously had a gap in it that I had to fill in with Bondo and stuff. But I still used the piece because I knew that I could just sand it down and fill it in with Bondo and stuff. But it ended up creating this large bump right here, and I worked forever to sand that part down. Also, another thing is I kind of printed this, and you guys can see in the pictures if you go back to the other video. I'll put the link in the description if you haven't seen it yet. It shows the back of it, and in the back the cut was slant. And I guess whenever I was in Mesh Mixer cutting this print up, I cut it like at a slant. You need to go up in the corner, and there's this little cube that shows it kind of directionally, and it'll put it at exact points. But I forgot to do that, I think, on this, and whenever I put it on the back in the exact point, I must have had it slanted or turned or something, and I sliced it kind of at a slant. So when I was putting these together, I didn't realize it when I put the front pieces on. They didn't kind of match up right, because I ended up taking the front piece and slicing it again after I sliced the entire thing. And then, so when I started putting the rest of these together, the back of it didn't even touch. Whenever I came to put the back seam together, it didn't even touch. And I had to just load it up with super glue so it would stay, and then Bondo the hell out of that. And so a lot of this was just kind of all over the place, and it took me kind of eyeballing it and stuff and really sanding it down as much as I could. This took a lot of Bondo and everything. One of the bad parts about this thing made me not ever use wood filler again. I'm gonna stick to Bondo and putty from here on out. Bondo and Bondo putty, and it's a bumper putty, or it's a bumper Bondo type thing. I'll put a picture up here. I put the picture in the other video too. It's my new favorite filler. It's my new favorite Bondo. It stinks to high heavens. It acts just like Bondo, but it's flexible. You can actually flex it around. I was putting it on this one here to kind of fill in the gaps between the faceplate and the helmet itself, and you can actually flex it. It's really, really cool. I've got the extra flexible one or something, and it's really awesome. And the cool thing about that is if you're using it, and then, this is made out of plastic, so every now and then you put weight on it here or there, or you're pushing down to sand it or something like that, and the entire thing kind of flexes. And if you have like a Bondo or something, a really hard Bondo or a fiberglass or something, you can end up cracking it and everything, because it's hard as a rock. It's staying still. So that stuff doesn't. It flexes right along with it because it's made for the bumper of a car. So I love that stuff, and I'm gonna be using it like crazy from here on out. You can see on the next one that I'm working with, it's a low resolution print, and so I had to do the entire top with it. But it's really good stuff. Anyways, I was forced into using that because I used the wood putty on this, and I've used this stuff for a long time. In fact, every one of mine has the wood putty on it, but I've only recently gotten into to actually scrub washing all of my prints between each step. Every time that I wet sand one of my prints, I go in and I take soap and water and I wash it all down. Hard wash it, because what I had happen a couple times was I went out to spray it, and I didn't, I just kind of rinsed everything off, and I didn't get a speck here, a speck there, and then all of a sudden it caused a bump to come up on the paint. And so I would have to go in and sand, I'd get it perfect, then I'd have to go in and sand a spot and redo it. And all of a sudden I went to spray to redo a spot, and because of the humidity here, the spray paint would get on the rest of the helmet or something, and it would cause that spidering effect. Then I'd have to sand the entire thing down, and it was just a mess. So I decided to go ahead, and it's a really good idea to go in and just scrub your print down, make sure that it's completely debris-free, particle-free and stuff, and then go out and do your spray painting and everything. And ever since I started doing that, every time I spray paint, I haven't had the spidering effect since. I haven't had particles show up, all sorts of different stuff, and so it's a really good idea. But the wood putty that I was using, the wood filler that I was using, actually, you get enough water in it, it turns it back to putty. It might just be the Walmart brand that I was using, but I wasn't putting a ton of water into it before. I was kind of just doing a quick water wipe, and so it wasn't really messing with it at all, and would work fine. But whenever I was deep cleaning, deep scrubbing and stuff, it would actually get into it. And I had a layer of spray paint on the one of the times, and I wet sanded it, so I had some of it showing through. And then whenever I went to clean it, like big chunks of paint came off, and it had big grooves in it and everything, all sorts of stuff. And then, so I went in and I, puttied those parts in, sanded it down, spray painted it again, and then other parts during the deep clean were chipping off and coming off. And so I did it, and then I realized that it was the putty that's when, you know, I didn't notice at first that it was the putty, but that's when I realized I thought the paint was just terrible. It was coming off and stuff in big chunks here and there. But when I realized it was the putty, I went through and I tried to sand it down as good as I could, and I tried to get out all the putty and refill it with that Bondo filler stuff. So I think I got it really smooth. In fact, I would probably do another wet sand on this, probably one more, and then spray it one more time is what I would probably do if this was going to be my finished product. If I would have done like Uncle Jesse or something like he did on his Batman cowl and cut off, you know, if I had a little spot here in the back that I could remove. If this was going to be my wearable product, I would probably do it one more time, because there are a few little spots in here that I can see. I mean, you can't feel it. It's smooth as hell, but it's just where the paint is thinner over a certain spot, and it seems like there's an edge there or something, but there's not. And I think the best example of it is right here. You can just see, and I think it's from touching that part, because it wasn't there at first, and you can't feel it at all. It's extremely smooth. There's just kind of a few little spots all over it. So like I said, if this was a wearable one that I was gonna wear, that if I had a mechanism to, or a way to put it on, I would probably give this one more wet sand and one more paint. Or I would just paint it again and then take a really high grit sandpaper and sand that down, you know, really lightly sand that down, and just put a clear coat on it or something like that to give it this satin shine. That's probably what I would do. But since I'm going to make a mold out of this, and this is going to be the first mold on this channel, I've been debating this for a long time, and I think this is the perfect one to do it. You guys can kind of see where this channel's heading by this one here, which was a requested print. Somebody requested me to make this print for them, and so I made it. They want it to be wearable, but the only way to make it wearable and be a full cowl, this specific Dark Knight cowl, the only way to make it wearable and to make it 100% is to make a silicone copy of it that you can put over your head. So that was my goal from the very beginning, was to make a silicone copy. But I've been debating on making molds because you can see the Iron Man helmet right here. I did the Mach 3, so it's one of the beginning Iron Man. I figured first one that was really highly used. This one was used in, I think, like 3 movies. This helmet. The Mach 3, the Mach 4, the Mach 5, I think all have the Mach 3 helmet on it. And so I wanted to go to the beginning of Iron Man and basically print the beginning of, you know, the actual Iron Man suit that we do. And then after that, and I've already got it saved off, I've already got the G-codes made and stuff. After this, I'm making the brand new one. So, the one from Infinity War. So, my goal was to make this and really get down how to make the Iron Man suit, and then make the new Iron Man suit. And everybody that makes the Iron Man suits makes 3D prints or paper cura or cardboard or something, and then they get it all sanded down and everything, and they make molds of it, and they make hard copies, because Iron Man has a hard suit. And if you look at all the awesome suits that they have out there for sale, they're all hard plastic suits. But I want to make a silicone mold and make it out of a harder silicone, or maybe even a flexible foam. I want to make a copy of it. I don't know how you would do that with a flexible foam, because the foam raises up, so I don't know if that's possible unless there was a backside to it or something. It would have to be the inside and the outside of the mold. I've been doing a lot of research on it. But at least the silicone, because if you look at the Infinity Wars, he is able to stretch and move around, and all those gaps and stuff are filled in with armor. And so I think the only way to really do that and do it correctly is to at least make a couple parts hard, and then make a lot of the internal movable joints and stuff out of silicone, but still keep it along the Iron Man armor. A lot of people make the big pieces and then they wear cloth underneath, red pants and a red shirt and a balaclava. It's kind of what they make. So I want to stay away from that, and I want to make an actual accurate Iron Man suit. It's nanotech, so it's the bleed-on armor, you know. So it moves around a lot more than the hard armor that he used at the very beginning. That's neither here nor there. That's kind of to explain the whole mold process. This is going to be a perfect one to start the mold process. I was debating on doing a little something since this was a request. I've actually had a few people on my Facebook, because I put pictures of these on my Facebook before anything else. While I'm making these, I put pictures on. You guys get to see the process video, which is probably like a week and a half after it's done. And then by the time this video comes out, it's about 2 weeks after. Like I said, this is the next one, and this is the one after that. So I'm working on this one. This one's already done here. So it kind of shows you how late it is that you guys actually get to see it. And here's kind of my idea for that. I've debated on doing it's something that nobody does. I know that there's a few 3D printing places. I know that there's a few 3D printing channels out there, and all of them kind of just do content showing you some 3D prints here and there. Nothing that's quite dedicated like this to making nothing but cosplay, and mainly cosplay helmets like I've been doing, just because I love doing these. I love making them. I love making big things that I can work on. So what I've debated on doing is a daily vlog, just kind of showing you as I'm making this. Sometimes I'll be working on this and this in one day, you know, going back and kind of touching this up. I still got to put a clear coat on it, and this I got to do some sanding on, so sometimes they overlap. That way I can cut out the process video, the entire, you know, video showing you how it's done, and just you guys can get on daily and just see what I did that day for the helmet on, and it'll be step by step, you know. It'll be a lot more in-depth, at least, because by the time that I take all the footage and compile it together, I have to chop it down into a 10-minute video. And I mean, that's like a week and a half worth of work into a, you know, 10-minute video. So it's not that's not the most ideal way. So maybe a daily vlog thing would be a 3D print daily vlog. I don't know. If you guys think it's a good idea, I'll start doing it, because I've been trying to debate on what to do for daily videos and stuff. You know, everybody says if you want to make a successful YouTube, you have to make daily videos, and you know, I can't really do that with these. I used to do that with the drones and stuff. We used to go flying the acro drones all the time, and I'm planning on getting back into that as soon as I get some money. So, and that's idea number 2, is I'm debating on, when I make the silicone mold of this, I've been debating on making copies of some of these helmets here, or offering to make a copy of any of the helmets that I make, either in a resin or a silicone copy of it, and making a website and just selling those copies. These are not my prints. I will have to say that. I get every one of these off Thingiverse. They're free on Thingiverse, so they're not my prints. So I can't sit there and sell them for a ton of money, but I can do the initial work and make a resin copy of it and send it to you. I don't think I want to do all the finished stuff, but I can make a resin copy, and you can follow the DIY video that shows you how to do it, and you can make one for yourself. But it's not going to be out of PLA, it's going to be out of actual hard resin, a stronger material. So something for like resin copies for like $50 or something like that, you know, make a website where you guys can get on and order something like that. I don't know, it's up to you guys, depends. I need you guys to share this video, like and subscribe. I need you guys to hit that thumbs up button. Tell me what you guys think about it. Leave comments. Just share this all over the place. Tell people to like this. I do have a Patreon page, Bryson Michael RC. You can go to the Patreon page and be a Patreon supporter if you want to. I don't think I have any Patreon supporters, only because I don't push it. I don't sit here and mention Patreon every single day, and hardly any, you know, I don't know if you're going to make it to this part of the video. So, you know, sometimes I get up here and I show you guys the entire print right off the bat by spinning it around. And that's really all you need to see. You don't need to sit here and listen to my explanation the entire time as I talk about this print. So if you guys want to support me on Patreon or something like that, but once I start getting more money and I'm able to do, you know, I need to get a better camera for one, but once I get a little bit more money, I'll be able to make prints, because I'll be able to get that molding and stuff. I am a father of 2 full bills, you know, full-time job. So this is just kind of a side hobby, but if you guys want to see more, I'll turn it into more. That's the thing. If you guys want to see more, I'll turn this whole channel into something completely different than it is right now, and I'll continue to do more. If I got Patreon supporters and people who wanted to donate money to that. If I got people who just wanted to donate a roll of resin, or if somebody just wanted to donate a roll of filament, send it. I'll put the address below. Send it to 215 East Poplar, Arkansas City, Kansas, area code 67005, area code, zip code. Send me some filament with a little note saying what you want that filament used for. If you want a specific helmet made or something like that, I'll do it, because I want your interaction. But please, if you got some constructive criticism, if you have something you want me to make, if you have an idea, or you want to, whatever you want to do, just leave a comment. Let me know. Let me know, because I'll read them. I'll read them. So, anyways, the last thing to this isn't just the only piece here. This comes with the neck piece here, which I didn't really show too much in the video. It's a low resolution, but I liked the lines in it, kind of the low resolutionness of it. I didn't like how it was in the print, because it was real low resolution. I did as much as I could to sanding down the edges of that. You can see those lines there, each one of those low res lines. I did my best to really sand those down. I didn't want to put any putty or anything on here. This is literally just wet sanding. That is it. And then I put a top coat of, I put a coat of Plasticil on it, and then it wasn't the same color as this, and so I went over the top of the Plasticil with the actual satin black that I painted this in, and got this, and I think that looks really good, and that's going to translate into a silicone copy really, really well. Low res and all, because I was looking at all the pictures and stuff, and if I would have gotten this perfectly sanded down, it wouldn't have been right, because it's almost like a leathery piece. It's got texture and stuff into it, and plus it's got body armor and stuff in it, and so I kind of, while I'm making these, I like to imagine certain things, and I kind of imagine those little ridges and stuff being parts of the armored plating and stuff. It almost seems like it would be more accurate to have that in it. So instead of going in and smoothing it out 100%, I made sure I smoothed out the filament lines, but I didn't smooth out the up and down low grade lines to it. And there's a little bit smoother neck piece that I could have done, but I like this one a lot more. This was my favorite one. So this video is getting kind of long, so there it is. There's the Batman cowl. One more time around. The Batman. The neck piece. One of these comes with a stand, but the stand is huge. You can see how big this is in the Anycubic. I think gluing the stand together, it's probably not going to work as well as gluing a helmet like this together, just because of how the stand is designed. The way that the weight goes onto the stand to get the neck piece and the helmet to both go on the stand. So I'm not sure. I have to kind of just set this aside and put this up here, but I want to show it off like that. I don't know how much the mold is going to affect this. Maybe it'll peel off some paint or something. I don't know. So I'm not really too worried about that at the moment, but we'll see. This thing really, man, that did a lot of work for Batman. It really does allow your neck to move around. And these are hard copies, not even flex. I mean, it really shows how much movement he had. My shelf is running out of space. I think what I should do is a giveaway. What do you guys think? My name is Bryce Michael RC. Thanks for checking out this video. We'll see you guys next Thursday with more cosplay. Iron Man. See ya.